appraisal waivers. What does it mean? On this episode of Tuesday's Tips. Yeah, so on the appraisal waiver, I've had some where, they're still, obviously, if they're getting a mortgage, they sign the mortgage waiver, so there is no appraisal. I have gotten some offers that are cash, but they still wanted to do an appraisal, and we countered and said, if this is going to be your offer, I think we ended up accepting that offer, but we're like, if you're going to pay cash, you're not doing an appraisal. You're just looking to get the house for less. So you're either paying cash and you're offering this, or you're not. But then I've also had the offers that come in, they're getting a mortgage, and they waive the appraisal. So from your standpoint, what does that mean from you?
Yeah, for me, and I've had it happen with some clients, is that they have the ability to either make up the difference, or when we run their loan online, the online approval will say that the value's been accepted. Mm-hmm. So we usually don't know that until we have the address. So you can't always assume that somebody that has 20, 40, 50, 60% down is going to get an appraisal waiver. I had one in Connecticut that still needed an appraisal, and she had a 48% down payment. Okay. It actually appraised for less, but it was still okay because she had such a large down payment, and she was still okay to go forward. Now, coincidentally, somebody that's doing a large down payment, and let's say that they do get they don't get an appraisal waiver, then if they're a first-time home buyer, they can get away with a 3% down payment. Now you tell someone, hey, you're putting down 20, 30%. What do you mean I need PMI? Well, that's a way that they can still buy the house if it appraises for a lot less.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
At that point, the market hasn't caught up yet to what they're paying for it.
Yep. So essentially they just use their down payment money to make up the difference, and they only put essentially 3% down on the mortgage.
Correct.
So essentially, in numbers term, to use big even numbers, if someone offers $100,000 on a house, agrees to waive the appraisal contingency, they'll make up any difference between the appraisal and the purchase price. The house appraises at $100,000, so they have an additional $100,000 to make up the difference. Plus, they have the additional money to put whatever down payment the lender is requiring on their mortgage.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, with first-time home buyers, they've got the ability to do either a 3% down payment, or if they're not a first-time home buyer, a 5% down payment if it's conventional financing.
Yeah.
So we got to get creative with these strategies and try and figure that out. So that's important that they're discussing with their lender what happens if it doesn't appraise. What are my options, so that they're going in this thing eyes wide open of what their potential options are.
Sure. And from my end, when they're waiving the appraisal as well, they're also basically waiving their right to their not security deposit. I'm thinking tenant landlord here, to their escrow deposit should they back out for reasons related to the appraisal. If they couldn't get a commitment because for some reason they didn't have the funds, the appraisal came in too low, they couldn't make it up, and it's all appraisal related. They're saying, hey, we gave it a shot. That was our offer, but the deposit's not ours anymore. It now goes to the seller.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important, I guess, from your stance, if you're the listing agent, of making sure that you're protecting your seller of, okay, let's have all these provisions in here that no matter what it appraises for, this buyer is still buying the house. Now, obviously, when you're advocating for the buyer, you want to make sure that they've got the ability to take that risk. And what's that look like? If they're doing a bond program, whether it be Mass Housing or Rhode Island Housing or Connecticut Housing, they don't have those options. Right. So you got to know the type of financing and the type of client that you're dealing with. And if it's, hey, the best thing for you is where they don't need somebody like me and they're coming in saying we need cash, or not we need cash, that we're paying cash.
You're paying cash. Sure. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I just recently had a deal. It was my listing, and the top few offers out of the many we received, all were getting financing, but like you discussed, huge down payment, agreed to make up any gap between the appraisal and the purchase price. They had the proof of funds along with the mortgage letter so that we knew they had the funds to make up for the gap and everything like that. So it played out exactly how you just described. And, everything's moving forward and everything's going great on it. But, that's for the people that are cash strong and want to make these offers look the best for sellers, they can. And unfortunately, it just makes it more difficult for our mass housing, RI housing, our VA buyers, or just regular conventional or FHA buyers. If you don't have that extra cash, there's a solid chance there's someone else with at least a little extra cash that can make up the difference. Because what I'm also seeing, and I'm sure you've seen it in your contracts, where they may not waive the appraisal contingency completely, but they'll say, we'll make up to $10,000 in gap between the purchase price and appraisal. So they're saying, like, we know what we have, we can afford, or we're willing to afford this. So, that's, another element to add into when we're going over the offers with the sellers.
In your experience and what you're seeing in the market, Jeremy, for someone that's going way over, that's getting financing, are you seeing or are you hearing from other realtor colleagues that that those deals are closing, or are those the ones that are coming back on the market? Like, I have people telling me that houses are going back and forth on the market. Can you speak to that?
Sure. So are you asking, let's say, someone's offering way over asking price, but they're not waiving the appraisal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
yeah. Like, why are deals falling? I guess why are deals falling through?
Okay,
Like,
that's
yeah. Maybe that I ought to have asked it better.
Okay, no, excellent question. I just wanted to clarify before
Yeah.
I started saying something. So most of the experienced agents right now, when they see the offers that come in ridiculously over asking price, but it's subject to appraisal, I almost look at that as a garbage offer, because they're saying, like, just please pick my offer, then whatever it appraises for, that's what I'll pay. So it's not a real offer. They're not really offering that, because they know, if they have an agent, their agent knows, as the listing agent, I know it's never going to appraise for that ridiculous number. You're just hoping we pick you as an offer. What we've done is, or many times with my clients, those offers are not the ones that get accepted. We go through the other offers that are over asking price, but they're willing to make up a certain amount of the appraisal gap. And those are generally the winning offers. So I don't know many agents that are taking those ridiculous offers. I'm sure there are some that have, or, well, it's not the agents that are accepting it. If a seller says, I want to take a shot with this offer, well, I mean, we're representing our sellers, so we're going to do what they say. But, knock wood, I haven't had a seller yet make me take a ridiculous offer. When I laid it out, I said, this is what's going to happen in this case, should it not appraise. And we go through all the different offers, and it's usually the offer that has some sort of an appraisal gap contingency in there that gets accepted.
Oh, okay.
All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tuesday's Tips. I'm Jeremy Bailey, your Flying Realtor. Remember to keep your wings level, and I gotta fly.